The potential from drones to revolutionize healthcare is exciting. However, it is important to use your critical global health lens to consider some of the limitations of this technology as a supposed game changer in global health. For instance, existing regulations regarding the use of drones, especially in healthcare, are restrictive and unclear. There are security and privacy concerns due to transporting patient samples and capturing images of public and private spaces. Most of this technology is being tested in populations that may not have the infrastructure to support it, raising issues of dependency and limiting local control and input on the use and evaluation of the technology. There are technical limitations with regards to the range drones can fly and the payload these can carry. Projects using drones in underserved low-income settings may be funded by and dependent on private sector partners gathered data on a health issue. While gathering more health data from historically hard-to-reach parts of a country can be beneficial to that country's disease surveillance efforts and health planning, state, private, and academic partnerships may decrease the amount of control a country has over its health data and surveillance priorities. Additionally, drone technology comes at a cost. For example, Ghana has recently signed a 4-year contract with Zipline to deliver blood and other medical supplies by drones. This contract costs the Ghanaian government $12.5 million. Not all national governments or health systems are equally positioned to access these technologies. Cost, lack of local expertise, and the limited payload capacity of drones are all challenges the biomedical drone currently presents in the world of global health. These are pretty practical challenges, though. Peckham and Sinha move beyond these concerns. Their article interrupts the enthusiasm over the use of drones by delving into the geopolitical conceptualization of health inequities implied by the usage of drones. Peckham and Sinha look at how we address a global health challenge, what we do about it, and how we respond, noting that our actions play an important role in constructing how we perceive the cause of that problem. For example, the framing of problems such as tuberculosis as solvable with leapfrog technologies can have a critical impact beyond increasing diagnoses and treatments of tuberculosis in a targeted population. Framing of health issues as issues of difficult geography may shut down discussion of social determinants of health or infrastructure needs. It could also silence histories that are important to recognize, histories of systemic exclusion, racism, of government neglect, and colonial and neo-colonial exploitation that are part of the story of poor health outcomes in a region. Enthusiasm for new tech can sideline equally important discussions about how such tech will be funded and by whom it will be controlled. Framing areas of high disease rate as hotspots, meriting drone-mediated surgical strikes, uses war metaphors that normalize caring about global health primarily because of its security implications. Such framing can also echo, in certain contexts, colonial narratives about so-called dangerous bodies in the non-West needing Western intervention or saving. Peckham and Sinha argue that any technology that implies partnerships and any systems of data collection and analysis that position outsiders of country as key players in that country's healthcare merit a closer look. The long-term implications on infrastructure, on how global health surveillance happens, and on how global health issues are treated are not clear. This may certainly represent progress, but it is important to take a careful, close look at all the ways in which using technologies that leapfrog infrastructure and imply new partnerships between multiple national, private, research, and public sector partners can change how we think about and address specific health challenges. Drones are doing much more than just providing healthcare to historically remote and underserved populations. They represent a fundamental shift in how health services and health monitoring are operating in the 21st century.